Now, victory is inevitable. Those are the confident words of ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula about the party's prospects in the 2024 national elections. Mbalula emphasized the need for the ruling party to reconnect with South Africans to ensure a brighter future for all. And that includes rebuilding the economy and lowering unemployment. eNCA's senior reporter Aviwe Mtila is at Luthuli House, where Mbalula spoke earlier, reporting back on the outcomes of this week's NEC meeting. We cross live to him now. Aviwe, thank you so much. You said through the whole briefing earlier on, just the posture of the Secretary General Fikile Mbalula. You can tell this is his natural habitat. He is in his element, portraying a united ANC that is organized and ready to take the polls next year.
Definitely in his element was the Secretary General of the African National Congress, Fikile Mbalula, just moments ago, of course, after delivering that report back from the NEC meeting that was held from the 7th till the 10th of July, a myriad of issues that were touched on there. But of course, one burning one that came out from the journalists is around the Concourt ruling that we heard around former President Jacob Zuma. We do understand the statement that was given by the foundation. His foundation is that he's currently in Russia at the moment. But of course, tongues were wagging inside here on what happens, what is the African National Congress's stance. And we heard there that as much as they empathize with the former president, they do respect the rule of law. They do understand, of course, that he's an 80-year-old gentleman and should suggest that that should be taken into consideration, as well as a myriad of issues that I want to touch on now with the spokesperson of the governing ANC. Siswam, thank you for joining us at eNCA, but let me touch on that burning issue around President Jacob Zuma. We heard the empathy coming there from the Secretary General, but maybe do expand on what exactly was discussed around that Concourt ruling. We heard from, for example, Police Minister Fikile suggesting that they're ready to act on whatever eventuality. What is the ANC saying?
Well, I mean, the stance of the ANC and the approach of the ANC has always been to respect the decisions of the courts, unless, of course, it is a matter that other lower courts can be taken on review, that those are the rights that can be exercised by individuals impacted by such rulings from the courts. So that is the position of the ANC. The SG also further went on to say that, indeed, President Zuma is a senior, an elder in the organization, is an elder in society. Ideally, we wouldn't want to see him being faced with a situation of this nature, but we start from the position that says we have to respect the rule of law in the country.
Have you engaged former President Jacob Zuma since the Concourt ruling and just find out his sentiments and how he's doing?
Well, as reported publicly, President Zuma is said to be in Russia, and so I would doubt that any of our national officials have been able to make contact with him. I'm not able to confirm that, though.
Okay, I just want to move on another literally burning issue, which is the torching of the trucks that we've seen. It's been happening for years on end. I remember my colleagues, Pamandla Koga, suggesting that even from 2018 in KwaZulu-Natal, are our law enforcement agency able to actually put an end to all of this?
Well, we called for increased crime intelligence capability to help us stem this tide about the torching of the trucks. And that precisely is an admission that not enough perhaps is being done because it's still continuing. And that is why we do look to reinforced crime intelligence. This is something that the ANC has urged its employees in government to move with speed to make sure that we do not allow a situation where people can conduct themselves willy-nilly in a country that is supposed to have strong law enforcement agencies.
And of course, the Achilles heel put there by the Secretary General being load shedding. There seems to be suggestion that by the end of 2023 in December, we might see the end of it. What's this informed of? What was the discussions inside the NEC around this?
Quite a very sustained discussion took place at the NEC, not just in terms of the improved energy availability factor, but looking at the work that is being done to strengthen generation and also to move on to strengthen transmission aspects in ESCOM. A very encouraging future outlook presented by Comrade Khosienzo Ramokgopa, leading to the NEC coming to a conclusion that says it is possible to really, really stem the tide. I'm not going to be loyal to the end of the year as a spokesperson of the ANC, but I'll be loyal to saying, indeed, there is clear and visible change in as far as load shedding patterns are concerned, except just for the past few days. But we're quite confident, judging by the reports and the data that was presented to the National Executive Committee, that this is something that is now there's a firm handle on it by our deployees in government, and also the work that Eskom is doing as an SOE.
I understand the electricity minister is giving a briefing tomorrow morning. I wanted to get that assurance that does this even come from him, that by the end of 2023, because he earlier suggested that it may take some 2 or so years.
I think the SG was talking about our wish. It is a wish on the part of the governing party that indeed as soon as we can, even yesterday, load shedding should be a thing of the past. I don't think we're being too dutiful to the end of the year.
And let's move on then to the upcoming BRICS summit. And I guess the bone of contention there is President Putin and the SG suggesting that government may handle that. But I just want to get a bit of insight on the conversations inside the African National Congress on what must happen, especially around the ICC warrant of arrest.
Well, the ANC, as a governing party, has made it very clear, our views are well recorded, that if it was up to us, we would like to see President Putin on our shores and being part of the high-level leadership pack that will be coming to the BRICS summit. That is the position of the ANC. But we also recognize that government must do what government must do, and that is what we're looking at. And we also do not want to overreach as the governing party, and we don't want to conflate the party and the state in as far as a sensitive matter of this nature is concerned. But yes, it is our wish that President Putin should be here, but we know that government through DECO and through the Office of the President are involved in ongoing consultations around this matter.
All right, thank you very much. That's the African National Congress's spokesperson, of course, just at the backdrop of that media briefing that was held here at Lutuli House by the Secretary General, Fikile Mbalula, reflecting on the NEC meeting that was held on the 7th till the 10th of July.
Thank you so much, senior reporter Aviwe Mtila, giving us an update, wrapping things up. As we saw earlier on, Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula, giving a press briefing on the NEC meeting outcomes and also saying that it's all systems go and victory is inevitable.